Good morning! I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads, and today is day 16 of December. So I'm already halfway through the month, a little over halfway through the month, and I'm only just now starting book 5. So I've got some catching up to do this month if I want to get through all of my 12 Days of Christmas. But this is a nice short book. I put on my thing, it was like 275 pages, but this edition is only 215 pages, so nice. I'm reading Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five, and if you haven't seen any of my previous 12 Days of Christmas Challenge videos, I'm going to link the playlist above and down in the description below. And I hope you're enjoying this challenge so far. I really am. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Today's Wednesday, a work day, and we're going to be doing our pin advent calendar soon, but I wanted to briefly tell you what I've learned about this book so far in the short time I've been reading it. This is supposed to be a fiction. I don't know if it's actually loosely based off his life at all. He dedicates the book to characters in the story in real life. So I don't know if this is like a fiction of his nonfiction life. That's kind of what it sounds like. That's what he makes it sound like, at least. So I'm not really sure though. And if you know, let me know in the comment section down below. This book is supposed to be about Dresden, and he keeps saying, I'm going to be writing a book about Dresden. This is a book about Dresden. And it's because he was a prisoner of war in Dresden. This huge bombing in Dresden that killed thousands and thousands of people, when that happened, he was present. This is basically the story to relate that experience, to hopefully get people to have anti-war sentiments. I'm enjoying being in his brain, and you're kind of just learning about, I guess, sort of a lead up to this event, but it's such a roundabout sort of way. There was one part in here that said something along the lines of, this is going to be messy and not really well put together because that's how bombings and war are. And so it definitely is that way. I'm only 30 pages into it, so it's really hard to say what this is all about actually, but realistically it's about Dresden. 2 today. Are you sure you didn't pull them out of the same?
Yeah.
Two different ones?
No, just.
You cheating? Are you cheating,
No.
Mom? Are you a cheater?
Wookie! Oh, I'm so little. Look at, see, my finger's bigger than him.
He's really small.
It's probably Skywalker.
Who is it?
Oh, R3PO and
No.
CPO.
Who?
3CPO.
Nope. Keep trying again.
I don't know their names. My brain isn't working this early in the morning.
Who's the little one? What's the little one's called?
R2D2.
And the big one?
C3PO. C3PO.
There you go. You got it. So there's her C3PO and R2D2.
It was painful getting the names out, wasn't it?
Get Chewbacca. There's her little Chewbacca.
Oh, they're so cute.
So I got another ink and paint, and this one is Peter Pan. And so it shows like the sketch, the cleanup, the ink, and the paint. Oh, that's really cool.
Does that have a date on it? No. Some of those had dates on them for the movie.
Good morning. It is day 17, and day 16 was one of those days where you know how those go. We all have those days. And so I only made it to page 63 of Slaughterhouse-Five. I just needed to do something for myself that I just felt was comforting. So I ended up binge watching Gilmore Girls and working on my TBR game. So it was a lot of fun. I got pretty far on my TBR game. I completely finished all the way up to the end. Got all my prompts in and started painting some of the little houses. And then I've got to put a legend in here. And I want to pick up, like I said, some stickers. So this is going really well. I'm having a lot of fun. I have these spots called book card spots. And these are like picks. Dog pick, friend pick. You pick means you who was watching the video. So today, I'm still feeling kind of ugh, and my allergies are really bad today. Kurt Vonnegut's talking about this guy named Billy Pilgrim, who was this optometrist who was in World War II. He got really sick and in pain, and he was suffering,
and he was kind of wandering with other American soldiers behind enemy lines, and they eventually get picked up by the German military as prisoners of war. But during this whole time, he's time traveling in his mind. So he'll kind of pass out and he'll go to the future. And so you're kind of getting like little reminiscences. Well, I say reminiscence, but they're future essences. I don't know what that is. Kind of going back and forth with that. Getting to know some of the other characters. And I'm not really sure why the story's focused around Billy Pilgrim. I guess maybe I'll find out later. But that's where I'm at so far.
And this is Little Mermaid in her little silhouette form, dreaming about being human.
Or her prince.
And another pin. And you got a pin too. I think it's your turn this time. What'd you get, Mother?
Hang on, daughter. Doctor.
Oh my gosh, just open it. What'd you get?
A suitcase. Oh, a mini suitcase.
It's a backpack. It's one of those mini backpacks.
Mini backpack. It's a backpack. It's a mini backpack. Look how cute.
It's so weird. Here's another part of the set that I got, which has the Feel the Force, which I got like on my first day or second day or something like that. So I'm a Jedi now, which, you know, obviously, if I was going to be
I don't know, you want to be Ren.
that, if I was going to be anything, I'd be a Jedi or I would be a Sith stormtrooper because I'm obsessed with the red stormtrooper outfit.
All right, so I am about 2/3 of the way through, and I'm finding this to be a very easy read. It's a quick read. I really like Kurt Vonnegut's writing style. I don't find myself getting hung up on a lot of things, despite the fact that I don't really know if I understand what's going on in this story. I know that Billy Pilgrim is constantly time traveling in his mind, and at this point, we have seen him get abducted by the aliens, which are the Traumaphedorians, I think. He ended up on their planet in sort of like a zoo, and he was being observed by all these aliens on this planet, and they're just fascinated by him because they all see things and do things in the fourth dimension, and he doesn't. So they're all just trying to understand him, and he's trying to understand them. I'm surprised with how many jumps in time, back and forth in time, like 1970s, 1960s, 1950s, 1940s. You're constantly jumping back and forth in his life. And yet I don't feel like I've gotten lost, which is really surprising for how often this book jumps. But yeah, I think it's just his writing style. It's a very easy writing style to get into, to understand, to comprehend. Like, I'm just flying through this book, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. And it's weird because it's a very dark subject matter, and yet it doesn't feel dark. You know, I've read a lot of really dark books, and this one doesn't feel dark. I guess because it's satirical, it's light in a way because of his humor. I don't know. Does anybody understand this? Have you guys read this? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I feel like I'm having a hard time reviewing this because I don't really know how to describe how I feel about it. Continuing to work through all these books, it's like not even 8:30 and I'm so exhausted. I don't know what's wrong with me today, so I'm actually probably going to head to bed early, but I feel good about some of the progress I've made. Here, let me show you.
Even more nonfiction books and also tons of classics, but I've got, I'm getting some fiction and then of course fantasy type books. And then these are the ones I'm going through right now, but I've pulled out all my books from here. And then I have a whole bunch of books down here I haven't gone through yet. So once I go through this stack, then I can go through all that's down there.
So I'm getting through these, and that feels good because I was expecting this project to take longer. Of course, now I've got to figure out where I'm going to put all these books. We don't really have a lot of bookshelf space, so... Good morning, it is day 18. I have finished Slaughterhouse-Five. But I've got some early morning work to do, so I'm not going to be able to go over my books yet and pick the next one. But I do have enough time to open my advent calendars, so I'm going to do that really quickly, and let's see what we got.
Pretty little chocolate heart today. Cheers.
Raspberry?
Chocolate heart with raspberry in it. Pretty good.
All right, what did I get?
Oh! This is from the Haunted Mansion, I think, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yep, Haunted Mansion. Oh, that is cool.
Wanted this.
Do you have that set, Mom?
I think I got the entire set now. I don't know how many are in there, but wow.
It's pouring rain, but I just picked up some babies. These guys are in the eyed phase, which you can see the dark spots. That means those are the eyes. And that means that these guys are gonna hatch really soon. Usually we have the salmon in the classroom. The second graders and the fourth graders actually get their own tank, but this year we can't do that, obviously. But we will have one tank, so we're gonna have a tank with all the little babies in it, and hopefully they're gonna set up a live stream for the kids so they can watch the growth of the salmon, so I'm really excited. New life is always so exciting. We're slowly recovering the Chinook population, which feels great, and this gives the kids an opportunity to be a part of that recovery and to learn more about salmon, this amazing resource that is part of their culture. So it's fantastic. So excited.
Okay, so it was a long day of work today, but it was good. It was nice to actually get out of the house and work at the office and out and about today. So it was really, really nice. And it was good for my morale, which I needed this week. So I have finished Slaughterhouse-Five. I finished it last night, and I think that I'm going to give this 4.25. Like I said before, I had trouble reviewing this book because there are so many small stories within this story. Like, because it's all about time travel in his mind, there are moments when he's going back and forth in time, and there are different stories associated with those moments that he's going back and forth in. But they're all tied together in the story of Billy Pilgrim's life. And ultimately, there is science fiction in this, but you don't really know whether or not it's real. And I saw somebody's review, and I really liked what they had to say about this. It definitely felt like you were looking into the mind of someone who was dealing with PTSD from their experiences in the war. I couldn't tell you what it is about this book that I enjoyed so much. I will definitely reread it at some point. There are trigger warnings in this book for a lot of different things. A very difficult time. World War II was a very ugly time, and even though there are a lot of trigger warnings in this, the way that Kurt Vonnegut handles a lot of the situations feels lighter than I've read in other books that talk about that time period. And I don't mean that he's making light of those moments, I just mean that the way he words things and the way he talks about things, it doesn't feel as heavy as other books do. Even though it is a heavy topic, and he's not trying to minimize that period of history. There's sort of an acceptance to all the things that had happened, and I think that's because it's in the past. You can't do anything about it. You can't change the past. And so these characters are just trying to figure out how to move forward and deal with all the things that go on in their mind. At least that's what I feel. If you have a very different opinion about Slaughterhouse-Five, I would love to hear it. And I really think this would be a good book to talk to somebody about. So let me know in the comment section down below if you'd like to have a discussion about Slaughterhouse-Five, because I would love to hear from somebody else who maybe understands more than I do. And now it's time. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a-laying. So what do I have for 6 geese a-laying? Let's figure it out. For 6, I have this hefty book, which, a little daunting. A book I've been wanting to read, so I mean, if I get it, I'll be very excited about this. It's 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and this is a book about a heist. It's about 6 different characters, 6 of Crows, that come together, and based on this heist that they're gonna perform, they'll either become very rich, or they'll kill each other. Who knows? I don't know. I'm excited to find out about this book. I've heard so much about this in the booktube world, and it's time for me to read it. So hopefully it won't take too long to get through. The second possibility is 6 Geese a-Slaying by Donna Andrews, and this one just sounds like a really fun book. It's called a cozy mystery. And so what's happening is Meg, who's the main character, and I think this is actually in a series, but I saw that you can read these books separately, and it doesn't matter that you're not reading them within the order of the series. Meg is supposed to be hosting the 12 Days of Christmas parade in her town, and she's kind of getting everything organized, and then all of a sudden, the person who's supposed to be Santa for this parade is murdered. And she has to see if she can solve this mystery and hopefully save Christmas. I would love to read a Christmas book right now, and I would love to read something that sounds that cheesy. I think this would be a lot of fun. And it's a decent sized book. I could get through this one pretty quickly. So, I mean, I would really enjoy reading this right now. I just think I'm in the right mindset for it. And then the last one, not quite as cheery of a book. I mean, I guess that one's about murder, so I shouldn't say it's really cheery. But the last possible book I could get is William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying, and that's lay for laying, because I really couldn't find very many books that had the word laying in it. So I'm going with this one. This is a classic adult fiction, and it's a family story about the Bundren family, and the mother/wife named Addie is dying. She's dead. I'm not exactly sure, but they're transporting her or her body, I don't know, sorry, across Mississippi. And this is the story from multiple perspectives, from all the family members' perspective, including from Addie's perspective. A very well-known story, doesn't sound quite as cheerful, but I think I would still really enjoy this. So if this comes up, I'll be happy as well. All right, it's time. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Let's do this. What is day 6? Oh. Is it gonna be the long one? Is it gonna be... It's gonna be a long one. All right, here we go. Oh goodness. Let's hope this doesn't take like the rest of the month. So I'm gonna be reading Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is on my Goodreads TBR. In fact, I had to buy this book because I could not get a hold of it through the library or digital. I didn't want to do audiobook, and I didn't want to read this electronically. Just didn't feel like it. I wanted to read this book as a book. And so I did purchase this, and so it's good that I'm reading it. But it is 465 pages, so we will see if I'm going to be getting through all 12 books. I think I will. In fact, next week is Christmas break, so I will have plenty of time to read. I'm really excited, but let me know in the comment section down below if you've read either of the other books that I am not going to be reading, and if you recommend them. I think that 12 Geese a Slaying sounds like maybe next year for Christmas. I just think it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button now and subscribe so you can see how long it takes me to get through Six of Crows and what I feel about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.